Okay, today we're going to read chapter 11, and the title is The Fur Trade of Samuel de Champlain. Many of the Frenchmen who came to North America in the 16 and 1700s were fur traders. These traders traded with native people. They gave them European goods in exchange for animal skins and furs. The traders collected many kinds of fur, but they were most interested in beaver pelts. Beaver hats were popular in Europe. You could sell beaver hats in England, France, Germany, and Russia. Why were beaver hats so popular? For one thing, beaver fur is thick. It's thick enough to keep your head warm in a cold Russian winter, and it is waterproof. Rain runs off a beaver hat. Your head stays dry. So I'm going to take a pause and look over here. So it says a beaver hat. This is what it looks like. You if you look really, really carefully, you can see, and I'm going to do it too. You can see there's little fuzzies going around the edge of it. Some hat makers used the beaver fur as it was. They made soft, puffy hats. Others processed the beaver fur to make more felt. The smooth, waterproof felt was then formed into hats. Felt hats did not look like they were made of beaver fur, but they were. In many parts of Europe, there were no beavers left. Hunters had killed too many of them. The beavers had almost gone extinct. Europeans could not get beaver pelts at home. So, they were willing to pay for beaver pelts imported from North America. I'm going to look at this picture real quick because this is a trading post. So let's figure out what a trading post really is with that picture in mind. Samuel de Champlain and other Frenchmen took the lead in the fur trade. They set up trading posts in North America. There were trading posts all along the Atlantic coast. There were trading posts in Quebec and all along the St. Lawrence River. There were even trading posts farther west along the great shore of the Great Lakes, kind of by where we are. On the page that follows is an adaptation, which means someone kind of changed it to make it a little bit more readable, and they took a part of it out, of Champlain's journey down the river of Iroquois to the lake that came to bear his name, Lake Champlain. And again, you can go see Lake Champlain today. So let's read what this guy says. July 1609, so this is the date that he was writing this little part. We continued our journey. I'm going to move myself a little bit over here, just for a moment. We continued our journey until we came to an island. The island was about 3 leagues long and had the finest pine trees that I had ever seen. We went hunting here and captured some wild animals. The next day, we started out again, floating down the river as far as the entrance to a large lake. There were many pretty islands there. They all contained many fine forests and lush meadows. There were too many birds to count. Also, we saw all kinds of wild animals, such as deer with their young fawns, bears, and many animals that moved from the mainland over the islands and back again. We captured many of these animals as well. There were many rivers that emptied into the lakes as well as dense forests of fine trees. I found chestnut trees on the border of the lake. I had never seen trees like this before. There were great numbers of fish in the lake. I noticed that many of the mountains in the distance on the north had snow on the top of them. I was told that the Iroquois lived there and that there were many beautiful valleys with fruit and grain there. I'm going to journey back over on this side of the screen. So again, Lake Champlain in the fall, and you guys can go visit. It's not that far away from us. Many different native groups lived in these lands. The French treaties with some of them, including the Algonquin people and the Huron people. So those again, Algonquin and Huron, you can go see them. You can go see like where the area is, and a lot if you go up to up by north in the Adirondacks, a lot of things are called Algonquin, and they have like Huron names in different things up there, like businesses, restaurants, everything. The French agreed to trade with these people and not fight with them. The native people would bring beaver pelts to trade. In some cases, they would bring pelts they had gathered themselves. In other cases, they would bring pelts they had obtained by trading with other native people. The French would barter with the native people. They would give the natives things they wanted in exchange for beaver pelts. So again, they weren't using necessarily money, but they were bartering, they were trading different things. A beaver has thick fur that was used to make hats. Many of the things the native people wanted were made of metal. Most Native people did not make their own metal products. They had to trade for these items. Many Native people traded furs for knives and axe blades. Others traded for kettles and fish hooks. Still others traded for glass beads from Europe, which were highly desirable. The French would gather up lots of beaver pelts. Then they would ship the pelts back to France and sell them. They made a lot of money doing this, so they did it again and again. As time went on, the French learned what the native people liked. They learned that many native people would trade beaver pelts for wool blankets. Some would trade for tobacco, others would trade for guns and gunpowder. So let's look down here. It says a beaver has thick fur that was used to make hats. You can see that. So if you look, sometimes you can see beavers in our area, which is pretty interesting. And the other day, I thought I saw one over on my side of the world, out in my yard. Now over here, we can see that this is actually tobacco leaves. So items like tobacco, kettles, and fish hooks were traded for pelts. Because again, these people were bringing them over from Europe, and they were not necessarily created in North America. So for them, these were very precious things. And to trade the pelts, which the Europeans wanted, it was a pretty even trade. So just here's the end here. It says a beaver, and this very cute little guy. Oh, he's so cute. But again, you got to be careful with beavers because they actually can be invasive species. They can come in and they can destroy habitats and ecosystems. So they may look really, really cute, but a lot of times they're hurting our ecosystem. In 2011, the people of Canada put an image of a beaver on the back of their nickel. They did not put the beaver on their nickel because he is cute. They put the beavers there because of the fur trade, or because the fur trade is an important part of the history of Canada. For 200 years, the fur trade was a source of income for the French and the native people alike. So I want you guys to come back so we can read Chapter 12, A History of People in North America. Have a great night, guys.